welcome back to Bernat.com. Today I'm going to show you how to make a half double crochet, which is written as an HDC. The stitch is halfway in height between a double crochet and a single crochet. It's really easy to make. So let's get started. So today I'm using Bernat Super Value as my yarn and a 5mm crochet hook, and here I've already started by having 6 chains already made, and I'm going to be making 4 half double crochets into this row. So the thing to know about half double crochets is you actually want to work into the 3rd chain from your hook. So this is our first one right here, this is our second one, and this is our 3rd one. And if you kind of have your chain facing you so that you have these kind of little V stitches, if you can see them, facing you, it's easy to count. So 1 bar, 2, 3. So this is the stitch I'm going to be working on. I'm going to mark it here with my thumb so I don't lose track. And I'm going to start my half double crochet by wrapping my yarn around my hook. Now that movement is a little awkward when you first start, and you may need to actually wrap it around like this until you get all the movements. It just takes practice. So again, 1, 2, 3. So wrap my yarn around my hook, and I'm going to place it into that chain. And what you'll see is it has 1 loop or 1 bar over the top of my hook there. And I want to wrap my yarn around my hook and draw up a loop. So now I have 3 loops on my hook. The next thing I want to do is wrap my yarn around my hook and pull it through all 3 of those loops. So here we go, 1, 2, 3 loops all the way through. And that's your first half double crochet. Very good. So let's work our next half double crochet. So this is the stitch I've actually just worked into, so I want to work into the next stitch, which is right here. So to start, we want to wrap our yarn around our hook, place our hook through that stitch, and you can kind of see it looks like 3 loops on my hook. I want to wrap my yarn around my hook and draw up a loop. So there we are. We now have 3 loops on our hook. I want to wrap my yarn around my hook and pull it through all 3 of those loops, and that's your second half double crochet. So here we go, that's the stitch I've worked into, and this is the next stitch I want to work into. So remember, wrap your yarn around your hook, place it into your stitch, wrap my yarn around my hook, draw up a loop, and now you have 3 loops on your hook. Wrap my yarn around my hook and pull it through all of those loops. And I promise with some practice those movements will get much smoother and much easier. So here we go. I'm going to work the last stitch into my row. I want to wrap my yarn around my hook, place it into my last chain, wrap it around my hook, and draw up a loop. I now have 3 loops on my hook. Wrap my yarn around my hook and pull it through all 3 loops. And there we go. So if I kind of hold it like this, you can see here's my 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are the missed chains that we skipped, and that's to give the row a little bit of height, but this is actually your 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So what do we do when we get to our next row? So we turn our work. And what we want to do to start our half double crochets is your pattern notes tell you to chain 2. So to chain, we want to have our yarn around our hook and draw up a loop. That's 1 chain, wrap my yarn around my hook and pull it through. So that's 2 chains, 1, 2. Now your pattern will tell you whether this chain counts as a stitch or not. If it counts as a stitch, you want to sort of count it as this first stitch. So this chain would then belong with this stitch. So then when it says work into the next stitch, you'd actually work into this stitch right here. Often though, your pattern will tell you with a half double crochet that these chain 2 do not count as a stitch. So when it says does not count as a stitch, what you want to do is you actually want to work into your first stitch right there. And when you work into a stitch, if I kind of turn this, you can kind of see that your chains run across, what looks like chains run across the top of your stitch. And you want to have both of those bars across your hook. So let's work our first one, and I'll just walk you through it here. What you want to do is the same as you did before. So wrap your yarn around your hook, insert it into that first stitch. Now this time when you work into it, you'll have the 2 bars across your hook like I just mentioned. Wrap my yarn around my hook and draw up a loop. Again, we have our 3 loops on our hook. We want to wrap our yarn around our hook and pull it through all 3 loops. And then when we want to work our next stitch, we want to work into this one right here. So wrap our yarn around our hook, insert it into our stitch. We'll have both of those bars across the top. Wrap our yarn around our hook, draw up a loop, wrap it around and pull through all 3 loops. And that's all there is to making half double crochets. This is what rows of half double crochets look like when you go back and forth. These are all half double crochets, and if I flip this over, you'll see that it looks basically the same on both sides. So that's all there is to it. We'll see you again at Bernat.com.